I often find myself asking this question: who exactly are we speaking for or speaking about? I think when you're talking about an elite class of people, yeah, I think they are far more intuitive about the way they plan their lives out regarding who they date and everything or who they marry. But for your regular, average, everyday person, they all marry who they love. It always starts with love. Now, granted, or you know what I mean. It may have started with love, and then a oops baby, and then they decide to get married. Whatever, however you want to draw it out. I think a lot of people start with who they love, and that's where it goes. Now, him talking about then you find out later on, oh, you want to deal with the side, you want to go after the person that you really are attracted to. Well, you could still. Why didn't you get that person when you wanted to? No, you married who you wanted to marry, and then you fuck who you wanted to fuck. If that's how you want to look at it, because you can always, if that girl is who you really want to be with, why don't you divorce your wife and go after the other chick? Unless you find something valuable about your wife and you just want to fuck the new chick. So no, I think most regular people operate out of love. And because we operate out of love and then we lose the duty aspect of it, or do we lose the understanding of what those vows mean, that we make decisions after the fact that can affect our marriages, and we make decisions that don't necessarily align with what we're supposed to be doing. So we'll be like, oh well, I don't like this person today, or I may not love this person today, and you forget what you in it for. And that's how you wind up with a lot of divorces and unhappy marriages. It's not because the person didn't change all that much. The person's still the same person you got with. They may have had some subtle differences and things like that, but you know how that person handles a lot of different shit. It's just now you tired of it. You see something new and you're like, oh well, I want to go with this. But that's about it.
All right, go ahead, Marcus.
So, all right. So my general philosophy was if I didn't meet you, like when I'm gonna use the time when I thought I was going to the league, right? If I didn't meet you before I got to the NBA, it was impossible for me to take that relationship serious. Um, because I would have seen it as a situation where no matter how much she may or may not have loved me, that it would have been a useless situation. And I know that fluctuates with status or money and all those things, which can flee, right? So based off of that, I would not have been in an actual relationship in the league. Um, if I couldn't walk up to you and talk to you and get you to go without having to show you that I got XYZ or I'm doing XYZ, then I would not consider having a long term relationship with you. That's just how I pick my metrics based off of what I think longevity looks like and the ideal family setup that I would like to have. Um, but I think it's true though, the different levels you climb, the different beauty standards of women that you'll meet and have access to. The question is, are they internally as attractive? And a lot of times that's not true.
All right. Well, on, Kenny, welcome to the show, brother. You need to play the video. Or you good?
I'm good. I was watching in the back.
Uh,
Evening, everybody on the panel. Well, I'm when you take your lumps, like going through life and figuring out what you want. I think once you get in a relationship, a lot of them, in my opinion, you find your footing later on in life, and then you realize that maybe this is not the right girl for me. Like during the stages of you going from adolescent to teen to manhood, you're figuring out what works for you. That also goes for relationships. So when we see these relationships that people go their separate ways, and then you ask her why, oh, you know, I got tired of her, he got tired of me. I don't think that was it. I think two parties finally realized that this person wasn't in tune to what they were, what their goal was to have that type of person in their life, and then you hear the occurrences of the affairs and them stepping out. Someone is finally being honest with themselves and saying, you know what, I'm in this relationship, and across the street is that's what I want. That's what suits me better. But you're so heavily invested at that point in time, then it looks like a whole cluster. You know what? When I see certain relationships like that. So speaking of that, like when you take vows, are you really being honest with yourself? And then down the road, you find out that's not the thing for you, but you're staying in it. But then again, you're going against yourself, and then you grow resentment. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe this doesn't work for me. Then the argument starts, the space. Then you're losing yourself within something that an illusion of what you thought was a forever relationship. I land my plane there.
We really are making a horrible case for marriage right now.
But see, this is the
a
thing about
horrible case for marriage, man.
like, but the title speaks for it all. Are people settling, or are they making intelligent decisions about relationships? You know what I'm saying? It says nothing about marriage. So if people are not able to properly sit with themselves and say, look, these are my non-negotiables and these are the things that I value in a partner, or where I see you know what I'm saying, my future partner to head into, right? And sort of, if you're talking to these women and you get to a point where I don't see a long-term relationship with you, you know what I'm saying? I can see us having fun, or this being a short thing, or I could see you being, you know, my forever person, or the mother of my children, us building a life together. All right, then you're understanding that this person has certain intrinsic values about them that catches you, that you could travel with, that you can have fun, that you can build and grow with and have a family with. If those things are not on those barometer, let that person go, because all you're going to end up doing is getting that person pregnant. There's going to be regrets and all this and that. And now we just created the ongoing cycle that we tend to talk about a lot, right?
So what if you get married to that person?
That
you come to the realization later.
Well, then they made a non-intelligent decision. Like, what were their criteria to vet out that person? You know what I'm saying? Are they even marriage minded? What is their upbringing? You know what I'm saying? What's their relationships with their father? You know what I'm saying? All these things that give you insight to be like, okay, we could start courting this person to kind of usher and move in the direction of potential marriage, right? But I don't really think that people have a specific, vision of what that looks like.
I think with men and women, I think it's two different things.
Shit,
I mean, we're talking about people, but I really think you got to divide it between men and women.
I got you. Thank you.
No, what I was saying is I think I get the question is about the people, but I think you can't just really like gauge the question from a people standpoint. You really got to, because it's different from men and women. I think the most dangerous thing a man can have is being aware that at an early age, that being aware of his mate value in the dating market at an early age. I would say a combination of age and trial and error makes most men aware that, hey, depending on my resource and what I'm able to bring to the table, can put me in a position to get what I want, give me leverage. I think if you go to your local gym and you go play basketball with a bunch of 20-year-olds and 18, 19-year-olds, guys don't know anything about leverage. They just see somebody who's pretty and fine, and they're willing to go and wipe them up if they're given a chance. But I don't believe those guys are being mentally equipped with the awareness of, hey, look, if I really level myself up and I really grind and work hard, I can have my pick of the litter. And I think all of that comes with a little bit of aging and a little bit of trial and error. But I get it, when you get married, there's supposed to be some discipline. I think there's supposed to be some sense of accepting. We accepting, okay, we got a woman and we accepting her flaws, or, a lack of attraction or a lack of things here and there that the next woman that that might be more appealing here and there might have. That's got something to do with upbringing. But when you look at it from a woman's standpoint, it's just similar to the same thing. A lot of these women aren't aware at a young age that, hey, look,
based on my youth, you know, I'm in my window of where I can be choosy, you know, I can be picky versus 35, 40 years old. And I think it's an awareness thing. It's a timing thing, being aware that, hey, look, if I really work on myself and optimize myself, I can get the person I want and I won't have to necessarily settle. And that actually, you know, bakes into the making an intelligent decision. But you can't make an intelligent decision if you're not educated.
How is it settling if you chose her?
What do you mean? How does it selling if you chosen?
Think about it. We as men have to do this. We have to approach, talk to, ask out on a date. Like, you literally, every part of that woman, you chose her. How would it then be settling?
Not necessarily every part, bro.
It could be settling if you don't get the woman you attracted to, actually, and you deal with what you can get. So
But-
you would be settling by doing that.